I think it's a good question though, because I think there is when there's a gap in a band's history, as there is with ours. I think maybe people have a harder time picking up the path, and I think on this tour, I think we've noticed more sort of, overall reaction being good for both new songs and old songs. I mean, there's still a clear people love to hear some of the songs from Shakespeare, and that's relevant for sure. But I mean, we want to. I think for us, the next record may sort of dispel that even more. That not just a band that got back together to do an album and call it a day. Yeah, unless we do just one album and call it a day.
But like as far as losing audience members, like certainly when we went, I mean that's the great thing about doing the reunion shows was that that's what they were, reunion shows. Yeah. This is here we are coming back to do sort of basically what we did in 1993, 1994. Yeah. And you can catch us sort of at the height because I think we're a much better band than we were in 1994. We played songs that much more
with a new 2001 Fractured Take though
on our homespun early 90s sound. But lots of people got a chance to come out and do that. But then when that was done, that's exactly what that was about. When that was over, it's like, well, we have a choice of just going on and being, playing, like Chuck Berry and just going and playing our old hits constantly, or moving forward. And we were adamant about the idea that none of us have any interest in being a reunion band. So, so I think if we did lose anybody after that who's just not interested in anything post 1994, then quite frankly we're not interested in them coming out to the shows. If they want to, they can. But I mean, we're all about playing our whole new record and bits and bites from the old stuff. Right. But it's weird because there's not a lot of bands in this boat where they had only 2 records, broke up for a while. There was yet still enough interest for them to come back. Yeah. And now they're back this much longer because we always talk about if we'd stayed together and all those Rusty Nail records and Steve's records were part of our catalog, we probably wouldn't be playing very many things off Shakespeare and Hallucinogenia anyway, because we'd have just continued to move forward. So it's kind of a weird spot to be in. Yeah,
but you do. I noticed in the live show anyway. You kind of mix it up a bit. I remember at the last show you played here in Winnipeg. Everybody. I don't even know why it is, but everybody loves "Bleed a Little While Tonight" and goes crazy for that song. But last time you were here, you mixed it up and changed it into this like slower piano ballad almost. Mm-hmm. And at first I was kind of shocked and went like, you're messing with messing with the song that a lot of us came here to hear, but I think that shows your integrity as a band, that you're willing to change those things and do things differently for your sake and hope that the audience gets it. But there must be in the back of your mind, that some folks are going to be disappointed that you're messing with a song like that.
I think you're probably right, because I think there is a general sort of impression that people want to hear things exactly as they are. But that being said, I think we've had pretty good results with we've done that to maybe 3 or 4 songs now, where we've changed them fairly radically from the way they were recorded back in the day. And
it's a relationship we're involved in with this audience. It's like you don't get a haircut and your partner says, "I'm leaving you. I don't want your haircut." It's like. It's, the hair's going to go back, or we'll be doing these songs, or we won't be doing these songs, and it's like if you're going to be so angry at the band and disappointed because we've rearranged a couple songs, or because we didn't play the song you like that night, then that's not the kind of relationship we want to build with. We want people. I mean, I think we're kind of old school. Like we want a career. We want to be like Elvis Costello or like the Clash or like Tom Waits or something, where somebody's interested in your 10-album career and they want to know where you're going and what you're doing. Not I don't know if people do that anymore, but
it's a battle you can never win, too. When I was a kid, I was an usher at Massey Hall in Toronto, and that was like every band that ever played Toronto came through that hall. It was the place that. Yeah. And remember a band called The Monks? Yeah. They had 2 records out. On the second record at the very end, there was a song called Skylab that was 25 seconds long. They played the show, did every song they'd ever written. It was a great show, and I was standing at the back, and these 2 guys come walking by me, and one guy turns to the other guy and goes, "Oh man, they didn't play Skylab." It's like, well, you can't win, so whatever. Right. So you do, like, I think we've talked about this a little bit on this tour about the way we're wired as musicians in general. We're maybe not as much entertainers as we are musicians, because there are bands that can do it, can go out every night and play, Satisfaction, and seem to play it with a little bit of heart. Like I don't know how that happens. We can't, and that's the way it is. It's just the way.
Well, ironically, that's the one major thing I would say that everybody had in common back in the day was they would say, we like this band because we believe that they're saying it as they as they feel it.
Right.
And that's all great if what you're saying and feeling is what they want you to say and feel. But if you get to a point where you go, well, we're just not these 5 songs. We're just not feeling. We're so far from them now, and we don't.
Right.
You know, would you rather we go up there and pretend that we believe in them, or would you rather us just put them in the vault and say that's it for that? You know.
And I think a lot of people would rather pretend we believe in them.
Yeah.
But
I was wondering about that in particular, you, Ron, because you wrote so much of Shakespeare in My Butt. You wrote it when you were like 20 years old or whatever, I would assume, and now, you know, almost 15 years later, do you feel kind of, how do you feel about those songs? Are you still proud of them, or do you think, well, those are just things that I wrote when I was a kid, and
I'm still, I mean, for the most part, I mean, there are certainly things, I mean, we've had this conversation in the band about moving forward again, and what, you know, so what's the new canon, like what are we playing, you know, and we can't, the funny thing is, like, we'll all make a list of 8 songs that we are still totally on fire about, want to play, but it's not the same, each guy has a different 8 songs, right? So yeah, it's like, there's certainly songs on those records that there are little bits of embarrassment about, or like, you know, wow, I've come so far from there, or, you know, like, oh, what was I thinking about? But, you know, for the most part, there's lots of stuff on there that I guess what I can do is put myself in my own shoes when I was 25, so that helps, you know.
Because your feet haven't grown.
No, my nose is grown, my feet haven't grown.
That was not gold.
That's much more.